to Full-Time Banter episode 34. This is the film section. Yeah, this week, because it's the international break, you must know by now, it's our top 5, and this week we're going for top 5 animated films. And straight away, Riz is throwing a spanner in the works. Yes, before I forget, my name's Tariq, he's Liam, he's Riz.
I'm Riz.
Yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. Animation, Avatar is not an animation, he says. I hate Avatar, but do tell us why it's not an animation.
Just purely because of all the costumes and the makeup. It's not really, I mean, animation for me is something that's kind of like cartoony-ish, and that's more like too much of a, that takes me into like a sci-fi thing, I'd say, more than anything, from my point of view anyway. I just don't think it has the characteristics to be an animation, although it's set using digital techniques and stuff like that. I just think the whole concept of having someone in a costume and stuff like that,
with the
painting,
ping pong balls, that's
and stuff like that. But if you look at the animations, like certain animations, they're like more cartoony, like the more caricature.
You're talking like cell animations, frame
and
animations,
stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't think it's.
Because I've just said to you, technically, computer generated images (CGI) is a form of animation, and there's been entire films that are CGI and there's no physical actors.
Yeah, I get that, but I just think Avatar isn't specifically.
Okay, well, I hate Avatar, so chuck Avatar in the bin, because Toy Story and all those are all CGI.
I mean,
animation,
I love Toy Story.
So that's animation, isn't it? But so CGI is animation.
To a degree, yeah, to a degree.
Okay.
But it's like with Toy Story, you're not having to actually like physically wear a costume.
No.
Like, you know, them characters
No,
are more
it's just the voices.
different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a voiceover, so
that is animation.
It's a debatable one. I mean, get in touch. Get in touch.
Yeah. Give us your thought. Interesting. First time I've heard that, and I don't mind.
I thought something different to the table.
Because animation, a very interesting concept and genre of film, because traditionally, or even straight away when we put this out, you have an immediate concept or an idea, like you said, of cell animation, cartoony, and people even have the image. I mean, straight away, what do we think of is bloody Disney and PIXAR, as animation. Even if you go into the old ones, the Fantasia and all of those, painted cells. People have that image of animation that is for kids and it's very light-hearted, and some people even dismiss it as a form of film work. Wrongly, because hopefully we can open your eyes to this, because I think it's absolutely fantastic animation, because I love films and anything that is different and unusual and new, and with animation you can do all of that. It's unbounded, it's out of reality. You can bring in any concept, and hopefully as we talk about the films, you'll see that it's not just about bloody Disney princesses. Which is Stuart was also asking, is Liam's top 5 all the Disney princesses?
Yes.
We'll find out, Stuart.
I am a big fan of Beauty and the Beast, but which one am I? Leave it in the comments below.
But Beauty, obviously.
Oh, cheers to you.
Yeah.
More like it should have been the seven wolves.
Grumpy.
I fucking am grumpy at the minute, definitely.
Grumpy and farty. Stuart actually said that whilst he was watching Frozen with his partner's daughter, today while he's wagging it off work. But let's get straight into it then. We've had a couple of people get in touch. It hasn't quite struck a chord as many of our other top 5s have, where we've had endless lists and it's been really long and people just tune in to watch their section of it. So this one's going to hopefully be a shorter one, but let's get straight into it. Clara FPL, Burnley fan, Jimmy Mac and Cheese, he got in touch and he straight away, as we said, let's not. I'll just say what it is. I've got to be proper basic on this, he says.
Do the basics right.
Yeah. Do the basics. Yeah, do the basics, lads. He goes in with, in no particular order, Toy Story. Yeah?
Yep.
I watched a lot of Toy Story, obviously with my kids being younger at that age. Monsters Inc. I really dislike Monsters Inc. for some reason. It's just, there's certain films I can't sit through. They just give me like a bad feeling. I don't enjoy watching them.
Probably because you had too many packets of Monsters Crisp and thought, shit.
No, it's like, you know what it is the little green guy, Wachowski, Mike Wachowski,
Mike was
Billy Crystal. It's just that annoying nasally voice of his, and he's just moaning and whinging all the time. He's so negative, and I hate it.
Mike Wazowski. Hello, Mike Wazowski.
I was going to say, Liam, does that remind you of anyone?
Is he taking shots in this episode?
Who needs Miguel? Yeah. When you got Riz, yeah, so
I thought I'd say it before he bloody starts, innit?
Big fan of the Monsters Inc. and the sequel.
I like it.
I don't like it. Wallace and Gromit.
Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Again, I can't watch it. I
What?
can't sit through it. I really appreciate stop motion.
Yeah.
For just how absolutely labour intensive it is. Yeah, so absolutely 100 marks to anybody who does stop motion. And I used to love Morph, Heartbeat, for anyone who's old enough to remember. Tony Hart, Heartbeat and Morph. But yeah, Shaun the Sheep, Wallace and Gromit, not for me.
Moving on.
I know. I'm sorry. Here's other ones which I do like. Into the Spider-Verse, which was the
newest Spider-Man.
Spider-Man animated, and I was surprised by it. It was very, very good. In terms of the animation, nothing special, nothing new, nothing you haven't seen before, but just really good version of Spider-Man, which, you know, everyone who reads the comics will be thoroughly versed with, yeah. And even the old animated Amazing Spider-Man, who used to go, the lady, the Spiderweb lady, used to take
Yes,
him
Marvel Web.
Yes.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to do an episode of 90s Marvel cartoons.
And his final one, Studio Ghibli affair, top marks, Spirited Away.
Like it.
Seeing it, familiar with it, yeah,
Yes.
very good. It reminds me, well, it doesn't remind me because the later film, I don't know if you've seen Silent Hill, based on the video game.
No.
The PlayStation game.
Another game
It's
that
kind of
you-
like someone trapped in an alternate reality which is running side by side the current reality. But Spirited Away, fantastic. You've got to watch that, about a little girl who gets, you know, lost from her parents and stuck in an alternate dimension, stuff like that. Really good. So thank you, Jimmy Mac and Cheese, Clara FPL, for those. Somebody give us Mario's. Mario, I don't know if he was in a grumpy mood that day. It just came across really angsty, Mario, but
Mario.
go ahead, someone give us Mario's.
He says, Evan Mario says, best animated films, The Lion King, end of list. Young Prince, not like his 1999. Young Prince, framed for murder of the king, is forced to flee while tyrannical uncle decimated the kingdom and enslaved the populace. Prince returns to avenge dead dad and liberates the kingdom. Great story, great songs, 90 minutes long. What's not to like?
Give me your credit card details, sir.
Thoughts on that?
Can't really argue with it. It is a fantastic, fantastic film.
I've actually had someone go to bloody watch that as a musical recently.
I've done that.
It's really good, the musical. Yeah.
Apparently it's absolutely awesome.
The bit with the stampede, how they do it, is
Well, I mean, may as well give a mention to theatre here, because theatre is very underrated. And us, you know, urbanites living in the slums of Oldham, you know, we maybe don't get as much culture as we like to, and the slums of Rochdale.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't get as much culture as we like, but theatre, absolutely fantastic, because I've seen the likes of Matilda's fantastic, Warhorse, wow.
Warhorse, if you're not seen it,
Oh
I've
my
actually been
God.
to see Warhorse.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Fantastic.
You forget that
and
it's
the
not a real
sculpture,
horse.
bloody hell,
Yeah.
man, it's absolutely amazing.
And yeah,
I
all
was at
musicals.
Liverpool when I went.
Yeah.
One of my mates, he did like a festival for the Chinese and everything. And at the time they were doing like a parade and stuff like that. Oh, it was absolutely
Brilliant, isn't it?
absolutely
Brilliant.
amazing. You gotta watch it.
Theatre, thumbs up for theatre. We need to go. It's just so damn expensive. It's like
Yeah.
70, 80 quid, 90 quid.
Well, not the one in Manchester, in Palace Theatre,
No?
actually.
Okay, that was Salford Keys who watched the Warhorse.
At the Lowry.
Yeah.
That one.
But yeah, I just reminded FPL Mario, you know, in a rather condescending way, just to rub it in, is that story is actually which famous Shakespeare play? You guys familiar with that? No?
My head.
Hamlet.
Hamlet.
Oh, yeah.
The Danish prince or the Danish king, it's also called.
Aye.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, so if you've seen Lion King, you've seen Shakespeare.
Nice
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Tick.
So yeah, those of you thinking, wow, what an amazing story Disney have come up with. No, I'm afraid not. But yeah, again, nothing special in terms of animation. Anyone seen the new Lion King?
No.
No, I've not seen it yet. Going to see what that's like. But it's not an animation. But yeah, I saw this to death because my eldest son, who's now 20, but when he was a very young toddler, oh man, this was the thing that we always had to watch. And I hate Elton John.
We have Alex on the phone.
Because of that reason.
Alex, we're filming at the moment. Can we call you back unless you wish to take part? We're live interviewing you.
Yeah, you rang in for our top 5.
Welcome to Full-Time Banter Show. You're live on air.
Give us your top 5 animated
We've never
films.
had this before.
Okay.
Alex.
Hello everyone. Is that Alex?
Hello, Alex McDonald of Real Filsworth fame.
This wasn't planned.
Go for it, Alex. Obviously, you rang up to give us your top 5 animated films of all time.
Top 5 animated film, that should be quite easy. I would say Toy Story.
Okay.
Gavin as well.
Right. Yeah.
Finding Nemo.
Finding
Nemo.
Good choice.
There's one for you.
Finding Alex tonight.
That's you all over, Alex, isn't it? Dory.
Partial to a film called Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Film in about 2015.
Yes.
Inside Out, know it well,
Yeah.
yeah. Bit of a heart wrencher, that one.
Top of the mind. What else could it be? What else could it be?
Do you like Lion King, Alex?
Sorry?
Do you like Lion King?
No, but we don't have those, so you can put that if you want. And also, I quite enjoyed the. Either what's your favourite? Live on air. What's your favourite cartoon film? Animated film.
Cartoon.
Animated.
Oh, you're asking Alex, okay. I thought you were asking
He's
me.
asking Evie.
Okay.
A Shark's Tale for me, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Shark's Tale.
I like Shark's Tale.
That's one I hate. Sorry, Alex. I hate Shark's Tale. But yeah, thank you, Alex. Obviously, you've come to ring a riz about some grassroots football chat. You'll have to give him a ring back in about an hour. Is that alright, Alex?
Yeah, cool, mate.
No
Cool.
worries, man.
Thanks
Thanks for being part of the show. See you later, mate. All the
Yeah,
best.
make sure you tune in.
Bye, Alex. Bye.
That was Alex McDonald.
That was-
Unexpected with his top 5.
Wonderful. And he's a
Yeah.
United fan as well, so thank you, Alex.
But yeah, getting back to Lion King, I hate Elton John because of it, Circle of Life. Yeah, you know, if his podgy face was here, I'd batter it like Play-Doh.
I love a bit of Elton.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so Mario, thank you for that extensive list of the Lion King.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Moving on, I had one more.
One Alex is that like.
Yeah. Let me get you this one.
Oh, seriously, that wasn't planned, by the way, Alex. So
Oh, I know. It's,
Sure. No, it's fine. Where are we? I
Let
had
me
one
see.
from our friend FPL Fring, who's very similar taste
Fling ping pong.
to myself. You know, I'd always look forward to his replies. He's recently updated his name as King of the Sofa Fring. Yeah, Sofa King. That's what it is.
King of the Suffering.
Sofa King Fring. Sofa King Fring, right? And he says,
He's
my
giving you-
manga love is pretty by the book
Okay.
because manga obviously is Japanese anime based on the
Yes.
comics, or manga as it should be pronounced. My manga love is pretty by the book, so you know, if you're wondering what that was, he goes with Akira, which we've mentioned before
Yeah.
for science fiction, Ghost in the Shell, which we've mentioned before,
yes.
science fiction, Ninja Scroll, which I
Yes.
mentioned before in Kung Fu,
Watch that. Yeah.
Blood, the Last Vampire, I think I also mentioned that, and Fist of the North Star, which is very good guy.
That seems very intense.
It is, he's hardcore intense. I mean, those, like I say, these are pretty the ones that come straight to the fore for most Westerners who've seen anime and manga and stuff. But he gives a special mention to Final Fantasy, of which the animation is fantastic, but I've not seen one in its entirety, so I need to make amends there and watch that. And Animatrix, either of you familiar with Animatrix? Animatrix is 9 or 10 short animated films by various directors, including the Wachowskis, based on The Matrix.
Ah.
So some give you, a prologue, some give you alternate stories about The Matrix, but all very good and all different forms of animation as well. I don't think there's any stop motion, but there's CGI and there's usual cell painted and whatnot. But Animatrix, very good. So you need to look into that. And he says, to be honest, I could probably do a top 50 manga films. And then he says, I'm going to be greedy and send you a non-manga one too. So for the non-manga, he went with Disney and Pixar have got so many great movies, but I'll pick just one, Inside Out.
I'll accept that.
You did? Are you familiar with that one?
Yeah.
You watched that?
I've not watched it, but
It's a recent one, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't like it. It's quite annoying. The parts I liked was the actual little girl and her turmoil, and it's quite sad, isn't it? So that's good. My Life as a Zucchini. It's also known, Mario, I believe in Europe it's known as My Life as a Courgette. Because obviously zucchini is an Americanism. But it's a French film. I think it's French.
Not heard of it, not seen it.
Then here we've got to stop then for a minute. Let's check what time we're on, because 3 minutes. Give you a quick rant on this. Again, talking about animation, because it's not your usual
Run of the mill.
glittery, kiddie Disney, all smiles, happy ending animation. Because so many good animation out there are documentaries, are gritty, are about war, about all sorts. And My Life as a Zucchini is basically about an orphan child. And how he makes friends and how his life moves on. So really good, really worth watching. I think it's a stop motion in the style of Tim Burton's Coraline and Nightmare Before Christmas and all that, Corpse Bride, very much like that. Another one, Loving Vincent. Heard of this? Yeah. Now this, incredible. The film itself, I didn't like that much. It's not great. It's about a guy who goes to sort of investigate the death of Vincent van Gogh, the Dutch painter. But the way it's done, it's painted in the style that Vincent van Gogh painted.
Okay.
Yeah, so the director learnt or got people in who could paint in that style, and they painted 65,000 frames, hand painted, to make that film. Yeah, so hats off just for that. Yeah, so you've got to watch that. Yeah, and his final couple, Nightmare Before Christmas, the Tim Burton one we mentioned, which is very entertaining, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah,
Definitely. I've completely slipped my mind, but yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I said on Twitter to him, I said Liam's probably going to throw in Space Jam.
Oh, I fucking forgot Space Jam. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
lovely. Yeah, they both definitely
I
can.
thought you were going to say Flubber then for a second.
So Frank, top marks, mate. Fantastic films. Yeah, forget the Disney ones, but for hailing animation as an art form, My Life as a Zucchini and Loving Vincent, and even the stop motion of Nightmare Before Christmas and Roger Rabbit, top marks, and the manga. So yeah, guys, over to yours. That's it for the guests. Take it away with your choices.
So same as Sofa King Fring, I'll go with Akira, how do you pronounce it?
Yeah,
Shakira.
I'll tell you why that
Manga,
comes from
manga.
is because in the West we call it Akira, or in America, Akira is Japanese, because I don't know if you know, a little education for you here. The Japanese language is all not monotone. I think the word is monotone, as in no syllables are extended.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all the same length, so it'd be Akira.
Akira.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say much about that. We've already pretty much covered it. Really
Cracking
good
film, yeah.
And it's one of the classics. The other one, probably not a lot of people heard of it, maybe, but The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, and this is how I like to pronounce it. I mean,
I'm glad
if you've not seen it,
Let's have a look at that.
you can have a look at it.
It doesn't ring a bell.
You can have a look at it.
Where are we looking?
That
Oh,
one
okay.
there. Right in the
Disappearance
box in bold.
Right, how do we Suzumiya? I've never heard of that.
I can never say it, but I watched it. I mean, and to be honest with you, it's one of the second longest animated films. It's quite long. It's like over 2.5 hours, I think, in total.
Wow, okay.
But it's something that you need to watch. It's a film that is impressive, in my opinion. I just think talking about the actual way it's put together, the cast that's in it, the way the storyline is told, is just absolutely amazing. And I could go on.
What is it? What's it about?
It's basically, in terms of, it's a disappearance of a certain member. And I'll put it down because like some of this was time since I watched it, man. Yeah, the best way to describe it, yeah, is having an atmosphere where you're not familiar with your surroundings and stuff like that. You go off into like another, like you can say outer space environment, but then you're getting lost and you're finding the adventures and you're going around and finding yourself again. But
Right.
you come across all these different characters on your journey, and it's just absolutely amazing. For me, I love it.
Sounds good because there's so many films like that. Because that reminds me a little bit of like Paprika. Paprika is one
Paprika's good as well. Yeah, I've seen Paprika.
where you can. They've got a device where you can immerse yourself in somebody's memories or dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's quite mongy. That's really good. There's
I remember reading that in Empire. Quite mongy.
there's a Czech one that's very similar, really trippy. Where there's a birth scene right at the start, and wow, it's mental.
Get on it,
Yeah.
get on it, man.
But yeah, carry on.
Get on it. I've just chucked this in. I mean, after my Avatar comment, this probably come back and bite me in the arse. But Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox.
Yes, I don't like the Justice League, but I think I've seen that.
But
And it's-
I just think the way it's kind of choreographed within everything, and at the time it was really popular. I mean, about 6-7 years ago now.
yeah.
Good storyline.
And it's wicked. I mean, it's only a short one. I think it's about just less than an hour or so, but it's really good. I mean, I quite enjoyed that.
Right.
Then moving away, Spirited Away. We've talked
Yeah,
about that
yeah.
already. I mean, that's just a classic. And the last one is Wind Rises. Again, it's from the Japanese side of things. It's similar to Totoro, is it? Totoro?
Is that my friend?
My neighbour Totoro.
My neighbour.
My Neighbour Totoro,
which
yeah.
is a really sad film. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And it's just one of those classics again, and it's obviously anything Jap, and we've talked about this before, it just, they immerse themselves in the actual storytelling.
Yeah,
They
fantastic. Yeah.
have a way of actually putting characters into certain places and then trying to figure out, you know what, this will fit with this, and they just have that connotation and that
The
connection.
layers as well. Yeah.
And it's just nice to just peel it away and look at the
What's
different
it
aspects.
about? Because again, it's not one I've come across.
This one is basically, how can I put it? It's more of a historical film regarding the cultural side of the Japanese arts and stuff like that. So it's very, very, how can I put it? It's more musical at times, but
Right.
it's just basically about the culture of Japan and stuff like that.
Cool.
So it's just like really
I'll
good.
have to look it up.
Yeah, I like cultural stuff as well, man.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I'll talk more about mine at the end and other stuff. But go ahead, Liam. Give us yours.
Don't mind. Yeah, I've got a few honourable mentions because I was having a really hard time. I got my brother involved when he came back from work, and I said, "Steve, what's animated films?" And he went,
Yeah, it's a
and
long.
had a brain fart and was like, well, "I don't know." So you've got your Disney ones, like your Aladdins, your Snow Whites, everything like that.
Yeah.
One honourable mention for me is James and the Giant Peach.
Oh
Yes.
I fucking love that film. And it's scared. You know the bit in the clouds where it's the rhino,
Yeah.
where it's the storm. That scared the piss out of me as a child. It's the only film where I go, that and Muppet Treasure Island, Sam the Eagle.
Yeah.
That freaked me the fuck out. I don't know why, but that and the rhino in the sky. I didn't like it as a kid.
Yeah.
Did not like it at all. Other ones, Incredibles 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'm a fan of those, but again, I won't put them on any list.
No, they're honourable.
Oh, yeah, okay, carry on.
Went twice to watch Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
So much I fucking liked it. Paranorman?
No.
No, not doing anything for you.
No.
It was all up in your list, wasn't it? Even shitting on mine. It was great, high. But if I
Well, because he's probably not heard that.
Yeah, it's just dark and gloomy and depressing, and there's nothing I enjoyed about it.
yeah, that's what I'm about.
Apart, the only thing that the Disney Rascal fix up looks sharp.
Yeah, thanks.
Apart from that, yeah.
The other one, my last honourable mention is Isle of Dogs, which is a recent one.
You
Wes
I've
Anderson.
not watched yet. Yeah.
It'd be right up your street. It's fucking heavy going. Have you seen it, Riz?
No, I'm not seeing it.
So it's about an island in Japan. Japan's outlawed dogs, and because they're infected with canine flu, and
Right.
they send them all to an island. And this one boy flies a plane to try and rescue his dog. Very heavy going. A lot of it's in Japanese that you can't understand because they don't even put subtitles on.
Yeah. I've
So
heard,
it's really arty-farty, which I don't normally go for, but I made an effort in this and went locked into it, and fucking loved it.
That was the one you had to watch instead of Pacific Rim.
It was the deal.
Hooray for that.
The deal was that I would go and watch Isle of Dogs, and then we would go and watch Pacific Rim Uprising, and we never got round to Pacific Rim Uprising, and for some reason now I think I never will do.
It's a waste of time and money and energy.
Fucking so's life, mate. So I love the first one, but yeah. So my top 5, I whittled it down, proper focused. My top 5, Chicken Run. No,
Okay.
I had to get some Hardman in there, and I thought somebody will mention Morris and Gromit, so I'll go for Chicken Run. It's classic. I love all the puns. I love all the homages and the throwbacks to earlier films. Obviously, The Great Escape is the most obvious one, but the voice casting. Mel Gibson's fine. He's just playing Mel Gibson, but as a giant cock, which some would say might be Mel Gibson, but I fucking like a bit of the Melster. So I think it's brilliant, and the classic line of "I don't want to be a pie, I don't like gravy." Brilliant. See, you're loving it. He's loving it.
Yeah, okay, good line, but no, I just really enjoy the rest of the film.
It's tickled him.
Yeah, so I massive thumbs up from me. Second one, Over the Hedge.
Well, the Hedge was entertaining enough, but yeah.
I've not seen
Have you
that.
seen that? So it's a group of animals, and they get befriended by a raccoon whose boss is a grizzly bear, and he orders them to go and nick supplies from the houses on the street, like to bring back before his hibernation.
It's like, after
It's not like bloody Rio, is it?
after
No, yeah.
well, there's that whole spate of animated films, wasn't there? Like Rio, like
Madagascar and all
Madagascar, an
Yeah.
open season, and there was a load of crap, and this is just sort of
that. Above it.
yeah.
I think it's miles above.
How
seen
it gets
it.
into your top
I-
5.
Because when it's on, I just piss myself.
Fair play. I mean, we're entitled to it. Fair play.
It's always a Saturday morning on as well, Biggest One, and you go, head's a bit sore from the fry, and you go, bang that on.
Over the Hedge.
Maybe you could ring Miguel and both of you watch
Talking
it.
animals.
Speaking of talking animals, my next one, Aristocats.
Okay, yeah, entertaining. I like that.
Yeah, really like this. Fond memories as a kid watching this. In particular, it was my grand's favourite film of that ones that we watched. I just love it. It's classic Disney, isn't it? Great songs, brilliant animation.
Yeah.
Thomas O'Malley is also he's Baloo the Bear and Little John, I think, as well.
Right, okay.
It's got the same Phil something. I can't remember his name top of my head. But yeah, fantastic. It's the songs. Everybody wants to be a cat. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
It is just awesome.
There's just on a side note, you mentioned Cat. There's a really good animation. I think it's another Czech one. These Czechs are pretty good on their Czech or Polish, and it's about a cat. I'm sure he's at college or uni. And it's like basically real life film kind of, but with a cat. And it's he just gets up to all kinds of debauched stuff, and it's really entertaining. It's really good. I'll try and find the name of it and tell you what it is. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, but carry on.
Nice one. Yep. So top 2 sentimental choices. Number 2, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yes.
Studio Ghibli film.
Yeah.
I did. Classic. Watched this within the last year, and completely blown away. Second Ghibli film I saw. And really enjoyed it. Kirsten Dunst does a good job. Phil Hartman as the cat. I love Phil Hartman for all the work he did on SNL and The Simpsons in particular. Lionel Hutz and Troy McClure, brilliant. And he lends his voice to Gigi, in the animation. And I think it's brilliant. Even named a cat after Kiki. It was a black cat, but Gigi was a boy's name, so named it Kiki, and big love to her. Yeah,
that's good. That was a great introduction to Ghibli as well. That film.
Yeah. Well, my main introduction to Ghibli was even better than that, and my all-time favourite animated film, My Neighbour Totoro. I absolutely love this film. I cannot speak highly of it enough without getting over emotional.
It is an emotional film. It is an emotional film. I love it.
You've seen it recently. The bit where they think where May goes missing. The comment was that I actually stopped breathing. Really?
You held your breath?
Yep.
Wow.
I was watching it with Kerry. She had her head there and went, "Are you alright?" And I was like, my heart was in my mouth.
He's an emotional guy anyway.
Yeah.
You don't show him shit like that.
But yeah, that was the first time I was introduced to Ghibli, and absolutely loved it. Brilliant. What I love is that nothing happens, And I love those films where nothing happens, because you watch the American ones and it'd be like everything's a set piece.
Yeah.
You know, and but in that, like,
One explosion to the next.
they push a rickety house and it doesn't fall down, whereas the American one, it would do.
Yeah.
But with that, the animation, it's just...
No, fair play, some good choices there for the last two, especially.
So,
Yeah, you recovered well.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So Chicken Run, Over the Hedge, Aristocats, Kiki's Delivery Service, and My Neighbour Totoro.
No.
And the music as well in Totoro. I actually went to the cinema to watch that in
Fabulous.
Japanese with subtitles.
Wow.
It was on a showcase in Ashton. Only 2 people in the cinema.
That's the best way.
Yeah.
That's the best.
And because we actually knew the story so well, we were criticising the bloody subtitles for getting it wrong.
Happy then.
But yeah, the definite number 1 there.
Well, I'm waiting for the Maestro. It'd be interesting to see what your picks are, Maestro.
No, mine's just...
I think this is something that... I think you probably got 2...
Yeah. No, well, these are good, because I'm going to say, if anyone out there, if you're not familiar with Japanese anime and Studio Ghibli, Japanese anime, to one side, is all cool and slick and action and violence and sci-fi and robots and dragons and all that, yeah? But Studio Ghibli is really
It's the heart.
heartfelt stories, yeah? Absolutely human stories. They're absolutely fantastic. And that's another point going on, just before I give you mine, is about animation, because when I think of animation, like I said, I brush the Disney stuff to one side, and I think of stuff like Waltz with the Bashir.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was the young dude on the Israeli side against the Lebanese.
Fantastic documentary, yeah.
Very good.
An animated documentary about an Israeli soldier who's involved with a battle with the Hezbollah in Lebanon, and he blanks out a massacre, 2 massacres involved with, and then he's trying to rediscover and find out what happened. Persepolis, the Iranian one.
Persepolis is another good one. That was
Yeah. Renaissance is a French one. Was really good. But there's so many animations that could open you up to so much other stuff.
Sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, let's give you mine.
Without further ado.
In at number 5, and I picked basically, again, like Frink said, it could have been a massive, long, stupid list. But I picked films that I thought, right, what could I sit down and watch right now? Yeah. And of those, then I put in order of which I'd like to watch. So the first one, number 5, Afro Samurai.
Okay.
That was a gif I put up, which few people seem to know about. Afro Samurai is, as its title suggests, is a black man with an afro, weed smoking, samurai. Yeah, he kicks ass, and it's actually Samuel L. Jackson who voices the character, and it's brilliant. It's a brilliant story. Not really in depth or really emotional, but just a good animation. And it's kind of like, if anyone's familiar with Samurai Jack, it's like the hardcore version of Samurai Jack. Okay. Samurai Jack is cool as...
Yeah, we do not endorse taking drugs and carrying a sword, so...
Yeah, or chopping people up. Or dressing up in a big panda suit.
I mean, you can wear an afro, you can wear a wig.
Yeah. Number 4, Ninja Scroll.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, of that genre, you could go for any. And if you're going to watch a Ninja Scroll, I suggest getting the later edition, because the early edition, they omitted a lot of violence and I believe a rape scene as well.
Yeah.
But the one I actually saw the version with the rape scene in. Not for that reason, but I just thought, wow, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And straight after that, I watched a film called Violence Jack, which...
Tossed it.
Wow, yeah. Watch that anyway, but Ninja Scroll, yeah. Number 3, Akira. Fantastic, especially if you're an angsty teenager, you're going to love it, tearing up Tokyo. Number 2, now this one, and I'm willing to admit, there's very few, I'm not an emotional guy, very few films put a lump in my throat, but Grave of the Fireflies.
Don't say it, I need to watch it, don't say anything. I've got a rough idea of what happens, but...
Need to watch it.
Again, Grave of the Fireflies it's been dubbed an anti-war film, but the director and writer says it's actually not. It's just a film about... You definitely don't watch this, because it's a film about despair and the futility of the human condition. Yeah?
Hayao Miyazaki is
And,
God,
and again, this is why I like a lot of Japanese anime and stuff, because there's no happy ending. Yeah? It's the total opposite of a happy ending. Yeah? If you do like it, watch it. Well, you will like it if you watch it. Yeah, it is heartbreaking. It's absolutely dire and heartbreaking. But in at number 1, the one I always go with, my go-to animation, Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, absolutely
Can't go wrong with
top stuff. Beautiful animation, visuals, storyline. It's science fiction and the soundtrack. Absolutely love it. Yeah, so we're pretty much done there. Last couple of minutes. Any final words on animation?
No,
Or
I
the films,
think
yeah.
I think there's a variety in there. It's like, I mean, similar to what we said before. Like certain things, what would you class as? I mean, a lot of people, as soon as it comes to mind, they think of all the Disney stuff,
Yeah.
and that comes up. But there are a lot out there. There's, I mean, especially the foreign ones. I mean, some of them
Fantastic.
like, great.
Yeah.
And I think the Japs, if you haven't watched the Jap animations, watch it. I mean, I'm in awe of it. It's just like absolutely amazing. Even the Czech stuff that you said before.
Yeah.
And the Spanish ones now. I've started doing
Really?
Spanish
I've not
and
come
French,
across
Spanish and
any
French ones have started to
okay.
really get out there.
There's a lot of French ones.
There's a lot of French ones. I
Yeah,
think.
there's one about the dog.
Yeah.
And yeah, the cyclist one was really good. Belvedere.
Belvoir, yeah.
There's lots of good French ones.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just worth dabbling into it. It's kind of like you'll find a proper like niche sometimes. Like sometimes
Definitely.
you look at it, you find a good.
We'll finish on that. Beautiful point to finish on, Riz. If you know, animation has got some fantastic films and stories in it. Move away from the typical Disney and seek out these for some fantastic stories.
There's some real gems there.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed that. We shall see you in our football section, hopefully, if we've got time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get it out of the way.
Bye-bye.